Good morning from Browns Bay. It's day 20 of lockdown and it's the Tuesday after Easter Monday. And of course, the Easter Bunny with me here will remind us throughout this talk about Easter. But the bunny's there for a specific reason because I've been musing since Sunday whether I could actually eat this thing. And it made me think of a parrot. Now, this is not a Monty Python sketch, but when we were kids, my mum was given a chocolate parrot one Easter. I don't know who bought it, probably Dad. And nobody could have the heart to eat it. So it stayed on the mantelpiece. In fact, it stayed on the picture rail. We had picture rails in those days in the corner of the lounge for some months, 6 months, a year. And eventually, some years later, it was still there. Until one day we decided to do something with this parrot. And of course, when we opened it up, it had disintegrated. It hadn't turned to custard, it had turned to dust and ashes. It was an ex-parrot. In that sense of the word. And I've been thinking about the parrot today because of the Easter Bunny and wondering about the things we hold on to and the things we keep. We've been talking about getting rid of stuff and perhaps having a massive garage sale to move things on. I'm not sure who would want all the things that we accumulate, but there it is. It's one way of getting rid of things. What are we holding on to? This lockdown, I think, has forced us to think about things that really matter. We're on our own often, we're isolated in our bubbles, we're working from home, we are communicating online, we are engaging each other in Zoom meetings and in all kinds of online ways, and talking like I am now to you before, in a way that I've never done before. It's changed things. And the question is, when it ends and life goes back to a new normal, I'm not sure that we'll be the same. It's a bit like holding on to a parrot that's actually disintegrated. The world has changed quite quickly, and we have to make some adjustments to it. What do we hold on to and why? I was saying on Sunday, talking about a grief that at a funeral I conducted years ago, the lady held on to the coffin as her husband was lowered into the earth. It was quite a dramatic moment and quite tricky to get her disconnected from the casket, but we managed. We hold on to things for various reasons, sometimes because we've got unresolved issues or concerns, like another person at one of those funerals who whacked the casket, smacked it, made a noise on it, and yelled at her late husband, because obviously they had unfinished business as well. The things that are past, the things that we moved on from, can actually hold us back in a way if we don't let go of them. And the question is, what will the new life be like at the end of this? What will really matter? What will we keep and what will we discard? Will we have to work back in the office, or could we work at home? Will we have to do things in the same way? Just the simplicity of having meetings online makes a lot of sense when you have to travel from all over the place to get together for an hour, and you could do it quite quickly from home and save an awful lot of travel time. In ourselves, we might have to let go of some things as well. Perhaps new priorities about what matters in terms of time and people and how we value them, and also our spiritual lives. When we're faced with death on a vast scale, as we have at the moment, it must make people at least sit and think about eternal things and what happens afterwards and what the purpose of life is. Viktor Frankl, who was an Austrian psychotherapist who survived the concentration camps, talked about the will to meaning. He said that you could live through anything if you had something meaningful to live for. And perhaps at this time we have to reevaluate what we live for, what our purpose is in life. And it can't be sustaining the economy or profit or fame or fortune, because those things are very fleeting. They can end very quickly, as the Great Depression taught us and other financial meltdowns have shown us in the past decades. So will I eat the bunny or not? It's an illusion, of course. It's not actually standing on its own. It's propped up by 2 medicine bottles. So we all have our props as well that keep us going. Some things we have to keep taking, but some things we can afford to let go of. And maybe it's the stuff that is jaded and worn out, the things that we used to make at the center of our lives that no longer matter anymore, that we should release. Let them float away down the river, as it were. Scatter the bunny, give it a send-off, and start again with something new, something that will last, that will have meaning and purpose, so that at the end of it all, when we look back, we say that was really worth keeping, that was really worth working for, that was really worth the hours and days and weeks of energy and time and investment that we put into that particular thing or project or person or relationship, or something that will make a difference in the communities where we live. So happy day 20, happy Easter Tuesday, I suppose. Let me know if you have any Easter eggs that have hung around, or whether you're a little more merciless and you just eat them on the spot. And remember the parrot, and don't hold on to things for too long. Take care and God bless, and we'll see you again.